Our conversation with Lieutenant Candace Horsman from the Salvation Army Indiana Unit, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Candace, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you with us here this morning. We had you on the air a couple of weeks ago talking about the beginning of the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Man, oh man, this is it for you, isn't it? This is the season.
It is, and we're in the home stretch. We have 12 days left, and right now we're at about 60% of our goal. Our goal this year is $60,000, so we're grateful for the generosity that we've seen, but we also know with 12 days left, there's still time, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to meet our goal.
60% is pretty good.
That is very good. I am very impressed. I am very, very happy and just really grateful for the way people have given in this season.
Yeah, and of course we anticipate that there will be more shoppers despite all of the challenges this year, and when there are more shoppers, there are more people who will be passing by those red kettles, hearing the bell ringing and putting a little bit in. But there are other ways that people can contribute to the Red Kettle campaign, are there not?
Definitely. They can donate to one of our kettles, or we have a couple of online kettles that they can donate to. We have some of our tabletop kettles, which have been decorated by local schools and churches, and those are around Indiana, but they also have donation links, so someone can vote for a particular kettle by donating to it. So on our Facebook page, that's probably the best way to find that information, the Salvation Army of Indiana, PA. We have all sorts of links where people can donate online or they can mail a check-in because there is some limited foot traffic with people not feeling super comfortable going shopping in the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. We do this every year, but I think we have to do this every year. Just a reminder to people of what Salvation Army is all about and how vital the Red Kettle campaign is to what you're going to be able to do through the course of the entire year.
Yes, definitely. We need these funds. We're majority run by donations, and so this season is vital for us to continue doing that. And we've seen a sharp increase in need, especially in our seasonal programs. We're seeing double the amount of people that have signed up in past years. For Thanksgiving, our meal, we had 375 that signed up for the drive-through meal. And Coats this year, we did 300 children. We packed about 300 bags of toys for kids in need. And so, yeah, we're seeing just such a sharp increase. And with that comes, the cost burden. And so we're definitely looking for people to continue to come through and be generous and help people in this season.
Those services that will continue to be offered by the Salvation Army do go on year-long, and this really gives you the opportunity to set up. And maybe this doesn't determine you will or will not be able to offer something this summer, but it certainly will go a long way toward your basic stability to offer the basic services that you always have.
Definitely, and I think that year-round idea is key. A lot of people just think we kind of come out of the woodworks in December and ring the bell, but we offer services year-round. We have a day camp in the summer. We have an after-school program, emergency food pantry, rent and utility assistance, and so the need isn't just in the winter season. It's throughout the year, and the money that we raise during the Kettle campaign allows us to continue operating throughout the year.
So where are we going to find the kettles, not only today, this weekend, and through the season?
Well, we have locations at Bilo, Giant Eagle, Ideal Market, Walmart Indiana, and Walmart Blairsville. And our little tabletop kettles are at 9th Street Deli, Bob's Pizza, Krause's Cafe, Luxembourg's, and Bradley's Books.
Okay, so those are great opportunities for folks to give. And some people might get confused, Candace, as they walk by and they see the frame there, but the kettle isn't hanging there. That has to do with the people who are available to actually staff the Red Kettles, because you always want somebody there, don't you?
I do, and I love to say that that's where our kettles are going to be, but unfortunately sometimes I have more locations than I do people. We've had some really awesome volunteer groups that have come out, the Rotary, Quota, Sheriff's Department, even IUP men's basketball. So we're actually looking for more volunteers because when we leave the kettle unmanned, obviously we can't collect donations. And so if anybody, individual or group, wants to ring the bell, even for a couple of hours, that would be very, very helpful.
How do they do that?
They can contact me at the office My number is 724-465-2530, extension 13, and I'd be happy to put them on the schedule.
Now, we think of the red kettles hanging during the daylight when we're walking about and shopping. How late is the latest kettle open for contributions through the course of a day?
A lot of our ringers, we're there from 11 to 7.
Okay.
So, yep, and we actually had a volunteer group yesterday that stood until 9. They were truckers. They made it on through. So, yeah, we're there the whole day.
Oh, terrific. Now, this is my first chance to talk with you. Josh got to talk with you a couple of weeks ago, so I haven't had the chance to really talk about where you're from and how it is that you came to Indiana, PA.
Yeah, well, I'm from the Boston area, actually, and I just got transferred from the Aliquippa branch of the Salvation Army. In the Salvation Army, they move us around, and so this is my third appointment. My first was in Du Bois, my second was in Aliquippa, and my third was in Indiana. And basically, when the Salvation Army calls me, I trust that that's a call not only from them, but from God, and I go where they send me.
Absolutely. So how do you find Indiana? What's it like for you?
I love it. I love it. It's definitely different coming from more of a city environment, but I really love the strong sense of community here, the sense of camaraderie. The people in the community are just very generous and very kind and welcoming, and so I feel at home, which is a nice feeling coming from a different area. There's
a very nice structure to the Indiana unit as well. There's some really strong people in terms of their leadership, and you really need that for the Salvation Army, don't you?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I can't do it by myself, right? I'm only one person, and so we have some really awesome people, some awesome volunteers that are here, 40 hours a week helping to pack toys. One of my staff members, Christy, has just been instrumental in doing all these seasonal programs. And so we are, a Salvation Army, a group of people, and we need each other. So
little Candace growing up in Boston, what was your dream? Was it to be with the Salvation Army? What brought you to the organization? I
didn't even know the Salvation Army was what it was or was a church. So my dream, I wanted to be a social worker. I was in college for human services, and I wanted to do that. But then I got introduced to the Salvation Army, and I remember walking into the little Salvation Army chapel and seeing all the uniforms and being a little confused. But immediately I felt loved, and I felt accepted and welcomed, and I thought to myself, wow, this is what church is supposed to be. And so the rest is kind of history. I sort of fell in love with the Salvation Army. I started working for them. I spent some time in Camden, New Jersey, working for the Salvation Army, and it was there that I really felt like, I needed to be a Salvation Army officer or pastor.
Terrific. That's a great story, and that's not an atypical story either, is it? People do they go to the Salvation Army for this service or that service, or even just as a church member to go to a church service, and they end up falling in love with the place.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people coming back, even our donors. It's amazing. People will come in and say, I remember my grandfather told me in World War II you served him on the front lines with donuts and coffee, or when I was a child, this was one man, he said, when I was a child my house burnt down, and the Salvation Army provided gifts for Christmas for my family, and so I'm giving back to you. And it's just beautiful to see the legacy of the Salvation Army that's just gone through so many generations.
Yeah, absolutely. We think of the folks in the Salvation Army unit, and we've had some wonderful people in your position here, including your predecessor, and we were on the air with her 2 or 3 times a week through the beginning stages of the pandemic with the food drives. What you do, that can change on a daily basis, and when the crisis comes up, that's what Salvation Army is all about, is responding.
Definitely. We have a branch of the Salvation Army called Emergency Disaster Services, and so we are as ready as we can be for situations like this. I don't think anybody expected it to look like this, but I was reviewing the statistics when I arrived, because I just got here in September, and I saw that in the first 4 months of the pandemic, Captain Denise, my predecessor, and the Salvation Army volunteers, they distributed over 18,000 meals to people, and that was just astounding to me. And so I admire her. I admire all of the volunteers that have just worked so hard to rise up and to meet those needs.
Yeah, she put in a lot of mileage, so
Yeah,
she did.
so many. Goodness, God bless her.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best and continued success with this campaign. We're at 60% now.
Yep.
We're going to be back on the air with this one.
You know what? Good question. I don't have the answer.
21st.
There we go.
The 10 days from now, that'll be the beginning of Christmas week. We want that number to really grow. And who knows? Maybe by that time we can cover that in the remaining 40%. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be fantastic. We're hoping for that. We're praying for that.
Absolutely. All right. Salvation Army, Red Kettle campaign goes on. She's Lieutenant Candace Horsman. Hey, thanks for spending some time with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 and AM